Red, white, and blue superheroes have been taking it on the chin this week. I know you guys have all heard, and I've covered it, the Anthony Mackie. Captain America doesn't necessarily need to represent America. He's about a bunch of good things, but I don't really associate America with any of those. It was a very silly thing to say, and I gave my context for what I think he was actually trying to say. Not trying to run cover, I'm not a part of his PR department. It's just, the guy kind of has a track record of being reasonably based as much as he can be in Hollywood, and being, just kind of a good sport about things. So I just think he said something incredibly stupid at a very ill-timed moment, especially ahead of a film that looks to be a catastrophic bomb. And then on the other side of things, something that would still be at the forefront of everybody's mind right now, had Captain Falcon not ran off at the mouth, it would have been this goofy TV spot for Superman. And I mean, it's so weird to compare and contrast Cap 4 with Superman, because on one hand, you got people that are totally and completely apathetic, and there's only damage that can be done to that movie. Whereas with Superman, it's been a long old time since we've had an optimistic, even just a standalone Superman flick that people are excited to see, okay? I barely categorize Snyder fans as actual people, but I digress. The last time we had an out-and-out hopeful Superman, Christopher Reeves, was alive and walking. It's been a minute, okay? Superman Returns in 2006. Now, I remember, okay? And this is another good comparison to make, okay? The Superman Returns trailer was fantastic, okay? I remember certain spots in that. Him catching the plane and then also taking a shot to the eye and it crumpling. Those are iconic shots. Now, for the rest of the 2 hours and 45 minutes, the only thing that is also notable is that, with the rare exception of Jesse Eisenberg, casting Lex Luthor, rather, not Lex Luger. There's no total package in the Superman movie, but it has been spot on. You had Gene Hackman, and then you had Kevin Spacey with his iconic "wrong" meme that people still use without even knowing it to this very day. And Nicholas Hoult and James Gunn's Superman is another good pick right there. So yeah, hey, 3 out of 4 ain't bad, right? But Superman Returns was a terrible movie with some very good trailers. Superman, we don't know the quality of the film quite yet, but all of the promotion surrounding this has been absolutely atrocious. But yet people still, generally speaking, want this film to succeed. At least that's what I'm seeing out there in the zeitgeist. Ultimately, when we see this hit theaters in early July, the box office receipts will tell. I'm thinking we're looking somewhere between $600, $700, maybe $800 million. Maybe it hits $1 billion. Who knows? Maybe I'm underselling how popular this is going to be. Maybe it does break through to normie audiences. But as the headline states, Superman takes flight in new trailer and it looks weird. I mean, you take a look at that and, bro, what are we doing right here? For the most part, prior to him turning around, that doesn't look all that bad, but what happens with his eyes? What are we doing here, bro? We got Superman's taking a look at two crises going on right now, Crisis on Infinite Pupils. We're going, what the hell is going on, man? Okay, but yeah, you compare and contrast that with, Henry Cavill's Superman taking flight for the first time, and it's a bit of a stark contrast. The downgrade is insane. Well, I mean, especially in that spot. You take a look at him in flight. You take a look at him in that kind of. It's almost Zack Snyder-esque. The palette that we're seeing on the Superman costume. It's obviously a little bit more bright, but the saturation. It's very interesting to say the least. But he really does look like discount Cavill. Why didn't you just get the man? Okay. All right. You wanted to do a total and complete break free of everything that you've been shackled with in the past, unless of course you have a familial or other nepotistic connection with anything else that's in there, because Peacemaker is a part of the DCU continuity, so it's going to be interesting when Jason Momoa comes on screen in Supergirl as Lobo. Are they going to have an offhanded joke about the last time we seen you had scales as opposed to fur? Is that what we're going to do? I would imagine so. It's James Gunn after all. But you've seen that. Okay, I showed you the trailer. There actually is no sound, and that's the entirety of the teaser. I think it had in theaters, I think it's July 15th or something like that. But it doesn't really much matter. Okay, who cares? What I'm saying about this movie is, man, I want it to succeed. Okay, I want the DCU to succeed because, having a good, competent, long-running Batman story with a good Bruce Wayne, good Batman, it's been a minute. Okay, Christian Bale is an interesting Batman. I liked him a little bit more as Bruce Wayne, but, you know, that tismy voice, and then he cranked it up to 11 in stupid Dark Knight Rises. God, that movie sucks. But in general, you know, that was the last time that DC really was event viewing, okay? And Superman, he really hasn't been the market driver for DC, yeah, since Reeves. It's wild to think about. Arguably, the most famous superhero, I would still say at this point in time. Like, you got the three that are up there at the top, individuals. We're not talking teams or anything like that. You got, Spider-Man, Batman, and you got Superman. And Spider-Man's had actually a fair few number of great films. Good to great films. And then Batman, of course, has had several iterations. Most of the casting has been good. Some of the scripts have been poor, but but a lot of those movies over the past, just in my lifetime, and we'll just, you know, throw in 89 there because it came out, you know, there's a couple of months before I, you know, announced my arrival to this world. Even the campy, awful ones have redeemable qualities. As for the Superman films, like, you got Murder Man with Zack Snyder, okay? Like, what's memorable about those? Couple of good trailers, right? And Henry Cavill's Superman. If Henry Cavill actually got to play Clark Kent instead of some resentful version of Kal-El, might have been really cool, but we're never going to get to see that. Oh well. Brendan Routh is like, that was literally, I watched that movie. I can't tell you a damn thing about it. And so people want this movie to succeed. It's just from the first promotional picture, you know, with Superman putting his boots on while there's catastrophe going on in the background. People going, that's not Superman. What are you doing out there? And the costume looks stupid with a stupid high collar and, you know, reminding, you know, comic fans of the New 52 stuff, which is absolute AIDS. The first trailer coming out just looking like they're shotgunning in the new characters, even though James Gunn, who is a big perpetrator of a lot of this bad faith for the people that are immersed in the meta, just, it really seems like a James Gunn movie through and through. Throw a bunch of people together, just have a light and airy tone to everything, but he promises that this is going to be an earnest, standalone Superman film. But how are you going to do that when you have Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Metamorpho, is Mr. Terrific in that? There were so many different characters, but the one thing that people go, okay, that's actually Superman. That does kind of remind me of what I remember. Okay, when he saved the girl, the one shot in the trailer, and then you follow that up with old Walleyes flooping through the Arctic again. Like, what are you doing, man? And then to come out and say, James Gunn says the new shot of Superman's face is 0 CG. Oh, okay, cool. So you have David Corenswet out there actually, you know, flying through the Arctic. It's so good that you actually, you know, cast somebody who could do that, who could leap tall buildings in a single bound. And a new 30-second TV spot for James Gunn's upcoming Superman. It has fans questioning what exactly is going on with the Man of Steel's face. What's wrong with his face? The ad, titled Icon, was released January 27th and featured David Corenswet's Superman flying in an extended shot through a frozen tundra. In the sequence, Corenswet's eyes appear larger, farther apart than usual, causing one thread's user to note there's something with his face that looks a little off. I know there's plenty of time to refine the CG. Well, you would hope so, but then James Gunn, just like when he was asked about, hey, so those tax documents for Superman came out and it confirmed the budget. He's like, no, that's not what the budget was. What was it, 265 million? Yeah, 265 million. He's like, no, that's not the budget. Oh, okay, cool. So are you confirming that you had somebody commit tax fraud on your behalf? That's kind of a weird thing to do. And then also, his tenuous grasp on what is and isn't canon. Him saying that The Flash is literally the best superhero film that he has ever seen, so much so that he got the cinematographer from that piece of shit to come over and work on Superman. Maybe that explains the funky visual effects. Maybe it legitimately was, okay? And he's talking 100% literally, it is the best film he ever seen. And if you want, all you need to do is just type into Google, type into YouTube, worst special effects, and the Flash movie is going to come out. So yeah, it's an interesting choice, James, that you have there. But James Gunn replied, there is absolutely zero CG in his face. People's faces can look different when you put a wide-angle lens up close. The background plate is Norway, is 100% real, as is David. So you got that shot, right? And you're obviously going to have CG throughout the rest of the movie. Obviously, the way that you composited that, I mean, it's not actually happening, okay? The guy's not, flying around on drones and cables out there, okay? Why didn't you fix his eyes? Okay, like, you can do that. You have the technology. I mean, they grafted a mustache off of Henry Cavill's face for reshoots for the Justice League. Probably shouldn't bring that up, but actually, side by side, that might actually be a better CG than what was in The Flash. Social media users, a significant number to whom are loyalists to Henry Cavill and his version of Superman, were quick to respond snarkily with comments like, "I believe him," and "We can tell." Yeah, exactly. It's, well, I mean, it was immediately memed into oblivion. Meme responses, yeah, took the ball and ran with the backlash photoshopping the face of Steve Buscemi's Mr. Deeds character, Crazy Eyes, and Marty Feldman's Igor from Young Frankenstein over Corenswet's face, among other googly-eyed characters. Yeah, the Ricky Berwick stuff, that one's pretty funny as well, because it's so stupid, man. Like, why would you do this? Why are you trying to tank this movie from the outside looking in, okay? People want this movie to succeed. For me to just drive that point into the ground, I want it to succeed. I want it to be great, because in my lifetime, we haven't had a good Superman film. Okay, there's been a lot of good animated stuff. I won't take that away. DC's animated stuff has been top tier and has been blowing out Marvel for a very long time. It's just going to the theater and seeing Superman on the big screen. That would be something that I would like to do in my lifetime. Can James Gunn deliver? Well, I wouldn't believe him if he told me that everybody who turns up to the theater is going to get $1 million cash. Everything about this film is hurting it. I just hope that it ends up defying expectations, unlike what we're going to be getting with Captain Black Falcon America, man. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.